It has been said that not even the greatest star, Betelgeuse, a star so far beyond the Milky Way, will remain forever. Hubble observed unusual behavior in the supergiant star in 2019 as it neared the end of its life, absolutely unique to the history of human observation. Welcome to Space News Unfold, where we bring you the latest and greatest in space exploration, all with a twist. And speaking of twists, have you heard about Betelgeuse? It's like a Meryl Streep of stars, constantly evolving, putting on a dazzling show, and never disappointing. Speaking of Betelgeuse, you know what they say, when in doubt, Betelgeuse it out. Okay, nobody actually says that, but they should. And boy, do we have some news about Betelgeuse that will blow your interstellar socks off. So buckle up, grab your space popcorn, and get ready for some out-of-this-world content that will leave you starry-eyed. And again I say, Betelgeuse. The second brightest star in Orion, Betelgeuse, is located around 548 light-years from Earth. Not the ghost with the most, but no less fascinating. Betelgeuse, Alpha Orionis, is the bright star that may be seen at the eastern shoulder of the constellation Orion, the Hunter. The Arabic name for the notorious red supergiant star is Yad al-Jazar, which means the hand of the central one in English. In this case, the center one is Orion. As long as you know where to look, you can spot the variable star with the naked eye. For a supergiant, the star's projected age of 10 million years puts it near the conclusion of its life. Betelgeuse is said to be roughly 13,000 times brighter than our Sun. Hence, the next time you find yourself whining about how bright the Sun is, take a moment to count your blessings that Earth does not orbit around such a powerful and dazzling star. Why then is the big bright star with the wacky name causing all this commotion? It is common for older stars to swiftly exhaust their hydrogen fuel supply and then move to helium and other elements as their primary fuel source. This process continues through the stages of expansion and cooling until heavier atom fusion occurs, at which point the fuel in the massive star has been exhausted and the iron core has reached critical mass. For a star of Betelgeuse's size to go supernova, the core must collapse and explode. The distance between Betelgeuse and Earth means that even if it has gone supernova, the light will not reach Earth for some 100 years. When that time comes, the sky will be filled with a dazzling display that can be seen during the day for months on end. Imagine for a moment that you could glance up at the night sky and watch the full show without the use of a telescope. Also, the Earth is highly unlikely to be exposed to radiation from the explosion, which is fantastic news for the future of humanity, even though we won't be there to witness it. The Great Disappearing Enigma. At the end of 2019, scientists all over the world were buzzing about the unprecedented dimming of the star Betelgeuse. This is not an unusual occurrence in and of itself, but the fact that the supergiant star is nearing the end of its existence makes it an intriguing topic that may shed new light on the nature of the supergiant star's demise. It gets more intriguing since, by February 2020, the star's brilliance as seen from Earth has dropped by nearly 2/3. Midway through the month of February, the dimming reached a low of 35%, and it did not recover until April of 2020. Several experts speculated that Betelgeuse was going supernova in a response to this great dimming, among other explanations put forth. Several people, though, were certain that a massive dust cloud was actually blocking the star's brightness. For a while, Betelgeuse was the focus of everyone's attention, and every telescope was aimed in its direction. With the help of the Hubble Space Telescope, they were able to determine that a massive dust cloud was to blame. Yet the outcome was not as expected. From the surface of the star, a plume, 1.6 million kilometers, 1 million miles in diameter, may have erupted. This enormous plume is 400 million times larger than the material typically seen from our Sun's coronal mass ejections, suggesting that it created a shock that ripped out a whole part of the star's surface. CME. Regular mass ejections from the Sun are known as solar flares. However, the Sun only expels relatively small chunks of its outermost layer, the corona. These are referred to as coronal mass ejections. Yet, Betelgeuse appears to be going nuclear. Surface mass ejections, SME, are what we're talking about, and they're probably not the same thing as coronal mass ejections. The discovery of Hubble. By combining their observations, an international team of astronomers who were monitoring Betelgeuse with the Hubble Space Telescope before, during, and after the dimming event found evidence that a cloud of dust surrounding the star may have been responsible for the change in brightness. They concluded that the photosphere, the outermost layer of the star, had begun to speed up its expansion towards the surface before the star dimmed. Andrea Dupree, who led the study, and her colleagues hypothesized that a convection cell went from the star's innards to its surface, causing a localized area of the surface to grow at a faster rate than the rest of the star during one of the star's normal expansion cycles. Stardust was created when enough material was blasted out of the star by a confluence of events. For the most part, this dust is to blame for the dimming that was formerly observed from Earth. The European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope, VLT, obtained images showing the star's appearance altering over the course of a few weeks in real time. The photographs, together with earlier observations from 2019 and early 2020, provided scientists a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see the stunning and revolutionary stardust formation for themselves. The ESO group also found that the outward pulsing of the star pushed a gas bubble further away from the star. A dusty veil would obscure the star's brightness, especially in the southern hemisphere, with a convection-driven cold patch formed on the surface and local temperatures dropped low enough to condense heavier elements like silicon into solid dust. According to Andrea Dupree, whose research was published in Astrophysical magazine, Betelgeuse continues performing some pretty unique things right now. There's a definite bouncing sensation within. When it comes to studying stars, this brand is new ground. Dupree elaborates as follows. An event of such massive ejection from a star's surface has never been witnessed before. We are still left with a situation about which we have little to no information. This is an entirely novel occurrence, the surface characteristics of which may be resolved by Hubble. The development of stars is being observed in real time. What happened next? The great enigma of Betelgeuse's dimming has been solved, and with it comes a great deal of clarity and new possibilities for the supergiant star. Recent studies have provided intriguing new information about the mass loss experienced by red giants as they age and eventually explode as supernovae. They now refer to it as stellar evolution in real time. The chance to see a star of Betelgeuse's size expelling enormous pieces of its own surface mass is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Yet, if you thought this cosmic marvel was over, you'd be wrong. Although there has been an abnormally high level of ejection, scientists have said that does not always portend an impending explosion. Simply put, it shows how little we know about these supergiant stars and how much more research is needed to fully comprehend this phenomenon. So, what do you make of that? Is Betelgeuse about to go supernova? Well, space enthusiasts, that's all the time we have for today. We hope you had a blast and learned something new about the universe. Before we go, we have a quick message from Betelgeuse. It wants you to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, or else it might go supernova and create a black hole that swallows the Earth. Okay, maybe that's a bit dramatic, but you get the point. And remember, the universe is vast and mysterious. But with Space News Unfold, you'll always have a guide to help you navigate the cosmos. So keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep watching. Until next time, Space Cadets. Click on the video on your screen and